Nate Diaz is training like the call already came. Sharp boxing, brutal conditioning, and that same no-nonsense focus.
Who knows, man? I mean, it's also like they want that big payday, you know, especially now, and they should get that big payday. But goddamn, if I was the UFC,
you pay them?
Fuck yeah! I think those guys are superstars. I think the UFC doesn't know. I think one of the reasons why Nate Diaz versus Conor McGregor was so big is because people love Nate Diaz too.
I care about Nate a lot. I like Nate, but you know, getting a fight done with him isn't easy as it seems. Everybody's like, "Well, why don't you make a fight?" Well, why don't you make a fight? Well, he asked for Francis Ngannou, you know, and I could go on.
The UFC is aiming for a historic White House event on June 14th, 2026, but the actual matchups haven't been announced yet. No Diaz versus McGregor confirmation, nothing official. That's what makes this so crazy, because Diaz is moving like he's about to be the biggest problem on the card. Stay with me, because once the names drop, the whole fight world is going to explode.
Are you doing it?
What if he gets what if Nate and Conor gets 3 million pay-per-views?
It's not out of the question.
It's not.
It's a stretch, but not out of the question.
It's a stretch. But if Nate can talk the right amount of shit, you know, and people get excited about it. Honestly, right now, for Conor, what else is there that's even close?
As far as fight?
In MMA?
Well,
What else is even close?
the only argument is you can say Conor's the only draw. He can fight Billy from Afghanistan and still get 2 million pay-per-view buys or break a million.
Nate Diaz is training like he knows a huge moment is coming, and even with no opponent named and no contract signed, you can see the seriousness in every session because the work is real, the effort is constant, and the intent is obvious. His rounds may not be long, but they're focused and intense. His boxing looks clean and sharp, his conditioning is being pushed hard, and more people in the fight world are starting to notice because this doesn't feel like a casual appearance or a memory lane run. It feels like a real comeback building day by day, with the rumors getting louder and the attention growing, and Diaz staying locked on one goal: be ready for whoever steps up when the biggest stage finally calls his name.
I think the answer is very obvious. I think we would all rather see Conor McGregor versus Nate Diaz 3. Of course, they are 1-1. The rubber match needs to happen. And if it doesn't happen in the UFC, maybe it happens down the line when they're out the UFC and they're both in the 50s, right? That fight needs to happen at some point in a car park, in a pub, in a restaurant, or better yet, at the White House in the UFC's octagon. That would be a fight that we all want to see, and I think it kind of needs to happen. Anyway, so that's what Nate Diaz should be targeting. That's what he should be talking about. Saying, never mind Michael Chandler, man. I can't do a Nate Diaz impression, right? He should say, never mind Michael Chandler. He's lost his last few fights. We're 1-1. Let's go. Let's do it at the Oval Office, on the White House lawn, wherever the fight's going to take place, right?
Nate Diaz is still in great shape and stays in the gym like it's a routine, but Joe Rogan made it clear there's serious money sitting on the table right now, especially with the talk of a possible White House card getting louder, and Rogan's point was simple: Diaz doesn't need a famous opponent to make a fight feel huge because he already brings the buzz, the crowd, and that wild energy every time he shows up. He's built a fan base that rides with him no matter what, and it's because he's real. He speaks his mind, he doesn't fake anything, and he doesn't apologize for who he is, and that raw honesty is exactly why people connect with him and why his name alone can turn any event into a moment.
They're obviously not out of shape. They're both thin.
Yeah.
They look like they're fit. I see them training. I see, you know, pictures of them with jiu-jitsu gis on and hitting the bag and shit. It's, you know, who knows, man? I mean, it's also like they want that big payday, you know, especially now, and they should get that big payday. But goddamn, if I was the UFC,
you pay them?
Fuck yeah! I think those guys are superstars. I think the UFC doesn't know. I think one of the reasons why Nate Diaz versus Conor McGregor was so big is because people love Nate Diaz too.
It's
not just Conor McGregor.
No doubt, no doubt.
If Conor McGregor, no disrespect to Eddie Alvarez, but when Conor McGregor fought Eddie Alvarez, the vast majority of the eyes were on Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
When Conor McGregor fights Nate Diaz, you're looking at a lot of people who love Nate Diaz.
Yeah.
But how do you think that happened? Like, how do you think Nate got that star power? You think it's like his attitude?
Fuck. He legitimately doesn't give a fuck. He smokes weed all the time. People love it.
Thomas explained that the Diaz brothers are built for the long game, and their style is one of the rare ones that can still win fights later in a career because it's not based on freak athletic bursts or quick-twitch speed. It's built on clean technique, pure toughness, and an engine that just won't quit. They drown you with pressure, they stay disciplined, and they keep coming until people break, and that's why, in his view, they can keep competing as they get older since they rely on skill and conditioning more than raw physical gifts, and he truly believes they've still got a lot left to show in the cage.
I mean, honestly, if anybody could still fight in their old age, the way the Diaz brothers fight, their style will allow them to fight longer.
Yeah.
Because they're not like the best athletes. So they rely on skill and just
endurance.
Endurance, yeah. So they can fight longer. So I'm assuming that they still have something left.
Dana White said he respects Nate Diaz a lot, but getting a fight done with him is almost never straightforward, because fans think the UFC can just pick a matchup and announce it, when the truth is there are real moving parts behind the scenes. Nate usually wants big names or surprise opponents, and that can slow everything down. And when it comes to a possible White House card, Dana admitted Diaz is a major value add and his name means something, but the hard part is putting the right deal together and lining up the right opponent at the same time, and that's exactly where it gets complicated.
I care about Nate a lot. I like Nate, but, you know, getting a fight done with him isn't easy as it seems. Everybody's like, well, why don't you make a fight? Well, why don't you make a fight? Well, he asked for Francis Ngannou, you know, and I could go on.
Dana White shut down the rumors about Conor McGregor fighting Toj Vidu on a White House card, straight up calling it nonsense, and he warned fans that a lot of what spreads online in MMA is flat out wrong and built on pure guesswork, saying even his own feeds don't show anything real behind that talk. But when it comes to Nate Diaz, the noise feels different because there's actual substance behind it. He's training, he's staying ready, his fanbase is still strong, and his history proves he delivers in big moments. So this isn't just internet fantasy, it's one of the few comeback stories right now that feels believable and has fans genuinely fired up.
You've heard the new talk is that Conor McGregor, Jorge Masvidal could be a potential.
Oh, no,
What's your thoughts? Oh, you haven't heard this?
No.
This is the biggest thing on social media now. Everyone's talking, that Chandler's out and Masvidal's in, and it's Conor and Masvidal.
You know what's funny? So in my algorithm on Instagram, I have nothing MMA.
Right?
Literally nothing MMA pops up.
Oh, mine's
in my
politics.
algorithm.
That's my.
Yeah, mine's definitely. There's some politics, but yeah, I don't listen to any of the goofy.
No.
No.
Is that considered goofy?
That's goofy shit. Yeah. The MMA world, I don't listen to any of that. So literally none of that is on my algorithm. So people say, "Oh, did you hear?"
You ever heard? He's like, I believe you. He's not heard about that. It's funny. You type in one of their names too, and that's all people seem to be talking
Literally,
about.
Almost everything you see on the internet about our sport is wrong.
It's not real.
It's all wrong. Yeah.
Fans have been waiting on that trilogy for years, and Michael Bisping says the answer is right in front of everyone. Nate Diaz versus Conor McGregor 3 is the fight that has to happen, because they're 1-1 and that deciding matchup isn't just late, it feels unavoidable. Bisping says it belongs on the biggest stage you can possibly build, even laughing about it going down on the White House lawn. And he's pushing the point that this is the exact kind of massive, headline-grabbing fight Nate should be chasing if he's coming back, because it's guaranteed to shake the whole MMA world, and if it really gets made, it won't feel like just another main event. It'll feel like an event that everyone remembers for a long time.
I think the answer is very obvious. I think we would all rather see Conor McGregor versus Nate Diaz 3. Of course, they are 1-1. The rubber match needs to happen. And if it doesn't happen in the UFC, maybe it happens down the line when they're out the UFC and they're both in the 50s, right? That fight needs to happen at some point in a car park, in a pub, in a restaurant, or better yet, at the White House in the UFC's octagon. That would be a fight that we all want to see, and I think it kind of needs to happen. Anyway, so that's what Nate Diaz should be targeting. That's what he should be talking about. Saying, never mind Michael Chandler, man. I can't do a Nate Diaz impression, right? He should say, never mind Michael Chandler. He's lost his last few fights. We're 1-1. Let's go. Let's do it at the Oval Office, on the White House lawn, wherever the fight's going to take place, right? That's what they should be called.
So who takes it in this epic trilogy? Does Nate Diaz come back and shock the world? Or is Conor McGregor ready to grab redemption and remind everyone who he is? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more MMA, UFC, and boxing news and updates. because we're just getting started and you don't want to miss what's coming next.
Make sure you like, subscribe to Fighters Arena Pro, and share this video with every real fight fan out there. Much love from Fighters Arena Pro.